Hey guys, welcome to D Mace's The Rant, and I am D Mace, your ranter, and this is the Rant Nation. So listen, I just wanted to jump on here tonight and talk about something very random. I want to talk about the greatness that was The Cosby Show. Now, this is not going to be very long. The Cosby Show, for me, growing up in the 70s and 80s and young adult and in the 90s and everything like that, man, I'm going to tell you what that represented for me. I'm not going to make this a long video, and whatever you feel like you want to fall on, whatever spectrum you fall on with regards to the things that happened, the scandal that happened with Bill Cosby. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to talk about the man's work and the creativity of the man's work. We do that a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, all that said, for me, man, the Cosby Show represented a lot of things. The Cosby Show was an awakening for me as a young black man, because I had never seen. I grew up in the projects. You know, I grew up in the projects. I did have both of my parents together until the day they died, but I grew up in the projects, and all I remember seeing at that time were depictions of black people who were either down, black people who were either, struggling and different things like that. I had good times. Thank God for good times, and thank God for what it represented. It was a real picture of how life was in some spaces. Thank God for the Jeffersons and things like that, and what's happening in all those shows. Okay, thank God for all those. When the Cosby Show came along, that showed us something different. It showed me something new. It showed me something I never considered. That can a black man be a lawyer or a doctor, and a black woman be a lawyer, and they live together and marry and raise their family, raise in a healthy family? One thing about the Cosby Show, man, the Cosby Show represented for me black excellence. And we began to see some kinds of things that were really, really great. One of the things we saw was, of course, we saw the affluence, some families being very affluent. We saw a family that was growing and learning together, and their kids weren't their kids weren't perfect. They were doing different things and going crazy. But what it exposed me to was, it exposed me to something outside of the world that I was used to. It exposed me to art. It exposed me to jazz. It exposed me to college. It exposed me to more than just what I grew up in and what I've seen in front of me. And so it opened up my heart to a lot of different things. I'm like, wow, okay, wait a minute. I'm a jazz lover today because of the Cosby Show. I'm an art lover today because of the Cosby Show. I'm proud to be a black man partly because of the Cosby Show. It made me proud to be a black man. It made me proud, for our heritage and our things like that, because we were not always trodden down. We were not always broke up and busted and disgusted. This was not all of our stories. And that's one of the reasons why I like the show The Gilded Age, that I do reviews on, because The Gilded Age also shows the affluence of black people back then in the 1890s, and that's something you don't really hear from history. Anyway, guys, listen, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and just talk about the excellence that was the Cosby Show. I love the whole dynamic. It was brilliant. I still watch it to this day, and I still get a chuckle and a laugh out of everything, man, with regards to that show and everything it represented, everything that their children represented, his wife represented. With Claire and Cliff, we didn't see a couple who were always combating. Yes, they had issues, but they knew how to work through their issues. Yes, they had disagreements, but they knew how to work through their disagreements. He wasn't beating her down. He wasn't putting her down. She wasn't beating him down and calling him all these kind of names. There was none of that in the Cosby Show. They worked through their problems very intelligently, respectfully to one another. And so it spoke volumes to me. It spoke volumes to me. So that's what the greatness of the Cosby Show that I saw. And even to see their children and grow up and things like that, and the different things that they were experiencing with some of the things that I was experiencing. But it was beautiful. It was just a beautiful, beautiful show. And I really appreciate it. And I would love to see another version of the Cosby Show. You know who I love to see doing not a Cosby Show, but doing something like that, who actually has that same kind of humor? Shula King. Shula King, I believe, would do a dynamite job at doing something like what Bill Cosby has created. Anyway, guys, listen, that is the video. I just wanted to talk to you about the greatness of what the Cosby Show was and what it represented to us. All right, you guys have a great night. Again, it's P Mace of P Mace is Empowered, or D Mace of D Mace is The Rant. Y'all know I got two channels and I don't know what I'm doing. This is D Mace of D Mace is The Rant. You guys have a great night. Have a great weekend, and love you much. Thank you for your likes, comments, subscribes, and your shares.